Okay, so I wanted to show you very briefly how you go about using PeerWise and just setting things up in PeerWise so that it kind of works for you. So I've got PeerWise here. I've just typed it into I've got it in Bing, but you can get it through any of them. If you go into login, open them up. So it's done let's go back out. So if you click on PeerWise, your first of all thing you'll need to do is you'll need to find Anglia Ruskin. So if you just simply type in Anglia, I can't spell. We type in Anglia Ruskin, Cambridge, click on that, and that will take you in. So that will now link you to ARU. Okay, so it will take you in and it will say Anglia Ruskin University. Now, you can clearly see that I've got my login details here, but what you need to do is go to registration. And as it says, it is really, really simple. So if you just click on registration here, first thing that you want to do is you want to choose a name, you want to choose a password, and then you want to enter the course ID for the course you'd like to join. And then what you also need to do is create an identifier. So let's just go and have a quick scan and find all this information. So if we go into the assessment, we can find information about the course the course code. So the course code will be provided on Canvas. Let's see if we can find the course code. This will be a test of whether it's there. So here's our course code. Just scroll down a little bit so we can see it. Here's the course code. So the course code for this module is 25482. So that's our course code. So let's go for begin application. Okay, so let's see. Right, creating new institution. So username. So I'm going to put username here. I'm going to put my username like that. Okay. So step one. So right. So it's already taken. So I'm going to try something slightly. I'm going to try something different. So I'm going to try because that one's already been taken. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, something like that. Okay. So select, that's going to be my username for the purpose of this. Okay, so I'm going to create a little password. Doesn't matter what my password is, but I'm going to do, and I'm going to create another password. Okay, save password. So nice and simple. And then I don't want to change my password. Get rid of that. Well, that comes up. Course ID. Okay, so once you get to this point, what you do is you drop in your SID here. I can't go any further on this one because I don't have a student ID. You drop your SID in, and that will then take you into the PeerWise account for you in relation to physiological profiling for strength and power. And once you're in there, what you can then start to do is you can start to create questions. So I'm just going to go back, and I'm going to go back to the main part. So if we go now into here, it will come up with your questions, answered questions, unanswered questions. This is really neat because this kind of tells you whether you're up to speed on everything. So if we go to your questions, create a new question, which is what we want to do. And as I have mentioned in previous videos, in here you can do all sorts of things. So for example, you can write the question out, you can change the font, you've got subscripts and superscripts, you can change the size of the font. You can also embed things from YouTube, which you may want to do, but if you want to put graphs and images in, you can put graphs and images in here. This is where you write your distractors, and what you can do is you can have more distractors if you want. You don't just have to limit to the 4. You can select which is going to be the right one. So I'm just going to put a load of gobbledygook in here just to show you what day is it. Okay, which is a terrible question, of course. And I'm going to write it's Monday. Oops. It's Tuesday. And so on and so forth. So I put those in. And then what you do, if that's the right answer, you just click select. That tells us it's the right answer. I can have that as my correct answer. Okay? And then in here is where you put your explanation. So I've got to explain why it is Monday. As we've in an accompanying video cast, this is where you've got to give the explanation as to why the correct answer is what it is, but also why those distractors are incorrect. And then this is really important. Please write in here keywords that are related to that paper. So let's say that you've got a paper on VO2 max. You might want to put VO2 max and verification and plateau. The reason to do that is just so that other students, when they're looking at the questions, can go, oh, actually, I've got to answer this question. Remember that there are going to be a lot of questions. There's about 60 questions each week, and you're picking 30 of them. So what I don't want it to be is that you get confused about which questions to answer on a weekly basis. So by having the tags, it means that you are each able to identify, okay, I'm meant to be answering questions this week on lactate metabolism or VO2 max and not on respiration. So those tags are really, really important. And that's it. And then you write your question and away you go. In terms of answering questions, if we go back into here, any unanswered questions, there'll be a list of unanswered questions here, and up will come the list of unanswered questions. So I'll just show you very briefly what that kind of looks like. So if I just go back in, I'm just going to log in very, very quickly so you can see. If I go back to the home menu, and I just look at this, for example, from an older version of the course. So if I go to Physiological Basic Endurance from last year, so I'm registered as an administrator, so here's the unanswered questions. I click on view here, it loads up, come on. Here we go. And now I can see all the unanswered questions, and I can click on any of these questions. So I'm going to click on this question here, and so list the common consequences of increased vagal tone. And I pick the answer, and then once I've picked the answer, I don't know, I'm just going to guess very quickly, so just for expediency. I've gone for E. Doesn't seem to agree. The right answer seems to be A, and then hopefully we've got an explanation. It's not a particularly great explanation, but we've got an explanation. This here is not, as I was saying a moment ago, is not a good tag. Please make sure that the tags are related to the paper. So if we've got a paper on heart rate, put heart rate in there, but other tags may be related to your question as well. And that's how you use PeerWise. Very, very simple to use, very, very simple to set up.